All right. Well, like I say every week, we had a chance yesterday to take a look at the Louisiana Tech game, look at the things that we did well and look at the things we didn't do so well. And I thought our team spirit was really good. I thought our guys came out with the approach of, okay, here's how we got to get better. We've got to have a better Sunday than UTEP has, and move on down the road, control what we can control, which is this coming week. And I thought our team really responded well to that. We certainly have a challenge this week. I would have to say at this point, El Paso's playing as well as it has in a long time. I think they put the Louisiana Tech game behind them and played well against Old Dominion, and then really shut down UTSA. Really did a great job on both sides, controlled the game offensively, and really gave them nothing defensively. And Coach Kugler's done a great job there of bringing a tough mentality to their team from his background of the NFL and an offensive line coach. And then I know Coach Higgins on offense and Coach Stoker on defense. Those are tremendous football coaches, and we'll have a real challenge for us Saturday night, but one that we're looking forward to and getting this taste out of our mouth in this past weekend.
Questions?
The status on Nick Mullins right now?
He's going to get evaluated today. We knew he couldn't go Saturday, so we'll have more as the week goes on. We're hopeful to have him. I think it was more precautionary. He really couldn't push off of it. So we just, from a precautionary standpoint, not knowing, we just held him out Saturday.
Is it too early to say whether he'll be available this week or going forward?
It's too early to say. We don't go today, so we'll have a better idea tomorrow whether he can go tomorrow. And I would say right now it's day to day.
When you say it's getting evaluated, is that MRI and everything today?
I think there's a number of things they're going to do just to check. I think the X-rays themselves were negative, Saturday, but he just couldn't push off of it. He's got some swelling there, so we've got to do some further evaluation to see where we're going to be with him. And like I said, we'll know more tomorrow.
The playing with Cole Weeks right now, obviously going to most likely get more reps in practice. So, kind of a couple of days to look at it. What would you think of his performance?
Well, I think Cole gave us a chance to win. There was nothing that he did Saturday from a throwing standpoint. Now, obviously, when a quarterback gets 30% of the reps during the week at most, as he did, you're going to have situations where in the game where it didn't get us in the right check, we weren't lined up properly. Just little things that to the naked eye you wouldn't notice. But those are things that, because he hadn't repped, and got in the game. I mean, you got to remember, Cole didn't play a snap last year, not one snap. And then played a little bit against Alabama, maybe that last series. I don't know how many plays it was, 3 or something. But he hasn't played very much in the last couple of years. So for him to go and do what he did, tremendous credit to him and Coach Lindsey, who works with quarterbacks, and to really give us a chance. He made enough throws for us to win. Now, there's a few he'd like back and some decisions he made and getting us in and out of certain route concepts, but that's to be expected with any backup quarterback. So we can't, if Cole ends up having to go as he did Saturday, you can only tweak so many things. I mean, we are who we are, what we do, how we try to move the football. Just got to do it better.
You said Saturday after the game that if you have to go to Cole Weeks for whatever the amount of time is, that you'll have to maybe alter things slightly to play more to his strengths. What are his strengths?
Well, he's very competitive. That's probably his biggest strength. I mean, he's a coach on the field. He's very competitive. I think he understands the concept. What I meant by that was, okay, so you've had limited reps. Okay, what is it that we've done a lot? So in the 19 months or however long we've been here, maybe longer than that now, 20 months, 22, however long we've been here with our system in terms of how we call it, what is it that he's done the most? So he's got a lot of recall. So with Nick, as you move further along with more experienced players, you can add things near the end of the week. You can tweak it. Hey, this is what we see. And even Nick, you had to be careful about, really with Cole, with a guy that hasn't played very much. Okay, what has he repped over and over and over and over? What's been the core of what we've done? So he can go function. It's not a matter of plays. It's a matter of, do we execute the plays? I don't care what play it is. You dial it up, and if the quarterback has confidence in it, he throws it straight and knows where to go with the ball, you have a much better chance than something he doesn't, even if it fits schematically what you might want to do against a given opponent.
after the game Saturday, Cole said that, you know, he took it upon himself to do the things that obviously it takes to win. So is it fair to say he prepares himself like a starter week in and week out?
Oh, I don't know. I think that's probably overrated to say that a backup prepares himself to be a starter. You know, some guys do it better than others. I think Cole prepared, but there's nothing like knowing you're going to play as opposed to I might play. And so, you know, for him, I'm sure the preparation will be different, like it is with every player that finds out they're going to start, especially quarterback. So, but our team has a lot of faith in Cole. I mean, it's the expectations of the position. You know, hopefully we'll have Nick back, but if not, then Cole's got to go, and we got to figure out a way to put a game plan together and move the football and not turn it over.
Running the ball kind of been an issue all season, but you look at the yards, UTEP can give up some yards on the ground. Now that there's maybe a question at quarterback on Saturday, are you going to try to rely maybe more on your running backs this week?
Well, you know, some of the teams, you know, again, it's week to week. You know, some of their stats, depending on who they're playing. You know, when you're losing games, they played New Mexico earlier, it was all run, so you're going to be skewed. You know, Saturday you end up with 76 yards lost rushing. I mean, that's bad snaps and lost yards played. We didn't run it tremendously, but some of that was our scheme, some of it was our backs, some of it was situation of the game. A few weeks ago against Middle Tennessee, we were running the ball fine, but we got down in the game, so the last 20-something plays were passes. North Texas was much more in the balance. So we had a few more explosive plays, got the ball in the perimeter, but when you're up in the game, you're going to have more, you know, rushing yards. When you're down in the game, you have more passing yards. We strive for balance. Balance isn't always in terms of yards, it's just our ability to run it when we want to run it. Short yardage, goal line, 4 minute coming out. Other than that, whatever you got to do to score. And a lot of the things run game anymore is throwing on the perimeter. There was a number of plays we spit on the perimeter because the numbers weren't right. If that's what you do, what's wrong with throwing on the perimeter and getting 8, 10, 5? It's part of your run game.
Since UTEP has obviously been playing better, can you see anything, you know, in particular that they've been doing better to play like they did last week?
Well, I thought they got after Old Dominion pretty well. Old Dominion's similar to us, 4 wide. I thought they got after them up front and blitzing wise, and their quarterback was under duress for much of that game. Then they had a bye week, and I would guess that after that win, you look chronologically, Louisiana Tech probably was the low point of their season. Okay, you know, what do we have to do as a staff? Okay, come back, beat Old Dominion, you get a bye week, have a great couple of weeks, get some guys back, and then you play UTSA team that they completely took out of their game. I mean, it wasn't, the score probably isn't indicative of how badly they beat them. Because again, they controlled it. There weren't a lot of plays in the game. I think UTEP had 64, they had 46, but it was never, now you watch it, there's never a point where you think they're gonna consistently stop UTEP, and there was no point where you thought UTSA was gonna move it. So that was impressive. And so I'm sure, just like a lot of teams, that momentum and that confidence of where they're headed is going to carry over. So it'll be a huge game for us, them coming home, and we're going to have to play our best to give ourselves a chance to win, and I think we will.
Seems like you guys have improved dramatically in all phases of special teams. Corey is doing really well, especially on, even on kickoffs. Mike Thomas had a big day. With, some of it was called back on a penalty, but he had a big day returning. It just seems like in the last 2 or 3 weeks, everybody's, doing much better. Didn't allow any big returns to Louisiana Tech on kickoffs. So has that been an added, have you guys spent more time on that week to week?
Well, kickoff was. I think it's a reflection of your team. I mean, it just is your toughness as your team, of your team that runs down to open the game up, So we made an emphasis last couple of weeks. Corey we had a stretch of Rice in Middle Tennessee where he really didn't kick it very well, and we didn't cover. I mean, that hurt us in both those games, just where the starting position was. We changed up personnel, and we asked our guys to make a commitment to running down, and Corey to make a commitment. We got to do it better. I mean, we can't give them the ball on the 40-yard line. And, then I thought last week the emphasis was, okay, how do we get better on our kickoff return unit? Okay, fielding it, blocking it, give ourselves a chance to start with better field position. Punt return was hard because you get so many teams that are now rugby style, and I think our punt team's fine. Other than we got to get more consistency out of Tyler kicking it. I mean, that's really it. I mean, you know, that's the biggest thing. Is your kicker going to give you hang time to go down and cover? And then so we've done some different things to try and help ourselves in that manner. And that's probably our emphasis this week, and still continuing to be as good as we can be on those other phases. And that's given ourselves a chance to win. I mean, the week before, kickoff cover and the fake punt were integral in us winning at North Texas. It just was. And then this past week, our kickoff cover team, and you talk about the beginning of the game, we scored, kick it off, we tackled them on the 11. That's powerful. That's a great start. Now, didn't finish that way, but those are all parts of how you win.
After the game the other night, you praised your defensive line, and I think Coach Holtz kind of praised your defensive line too. Looking at the film, you know, what are your thoughts?
Well, I thought that we had an advantage up front. I thought our guys at their best were better than their guys at their best. Now, whether or not we get that, I don't know that. But I thought our guys took it upon themselves to understand that with that running back, if you make him go sideways, any running back that's a big, powerful guy like he is, you make him go sideways, he's a lot easier to defend. What happened on that check down is we didn't get him going sideways. That big son of a gun got his pads going and got vertical, and we couldn't catch him. And so that hurt us at that moment, but I thought our defensive line early in the game really got after him, and I thought they gave us a chance. Later on, we didn't get as much pressure as we needed sometimes because the ball got out quicker, but I thought our defensive line played as well as they have at any given point in the season. It gave us a chance to win.
Can you talk a little bit about the receiving core? I guess Michael Thomas obviously continuing to emerge. I think 4 straight games with a touchdown, and you know, no matter who's under center, it seems like, you know, he's one of the guys establishing himself as a possession receiver that can always demand the ball.
Well, Mike's a good player. Mike, again, got here, we've said this many times, got here late in the summer. And, you know, Mike has the ability to make tough catches. He runs well enough to win down the field. And so he just, like I said, with each week he's gotten more and more consistent, not there yet. But he is a guy that we rely on to make big plays. And there's a number of those guys. You know, Casey Martin remains being steady. Marquise Triplett plays hard. Not always flawless, but he plays hard. Came up with some big catches. I think we've eliminated the last couple weeks some of those drop issues, not completely. And then Marquise Ricardo's gotten better. I think we've got fairly good depth at those positions. We hope to get Kyle Foster back this week. That adds a physical dimension to us. We got to get James Cox more involved because he's a good player. So we've got a pretty good rotation of guys. We just got to be able to be more consistent and run the ball better. And we've been inconsistent with that, but to give ourselves a much better balance and more things for the defense to have to worry about.
Has there been any update on Kalen Reed?
Don't know. He was out there Sunday, was a little banged up. Don't know with him. Mike Smith, Brian Anderson, won't know till Tuesday. We get out there with those guys, see if we can get those guys back. I'm hopeful we'll have them all back this week. I'm anticipating we will. And hopefully maybe we'll get Oliver Bates back, see how Jerry Harris is. But if not, we'll have to figure out who goes next and figure out a way to do it better.
Is George Payne becoming a guy that you can almost depend on to get at least one score a game when you get inside that 10-yard line area?
He's a big downhill runner. We probably didn't do a good enough job of getting him the ball going downhill. We probably had too many runs with him, outside zone plays that we thought we could get him then downhill, but we just didn't. And that's something we've got to do a better job of and you know, play to the strengths of the players we have. And so, you know, sometimes that's a strength of George, is how do we get him downhill, because he's a hard guy to stop for less than 2 or 3. A lot like what we were trying to do with their running back. You know, make him go sideways. Make big backs go sideways, they become mortal, you know. So we got to do a better job of getting him downhill.